Welcome to Kevin Deal Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, I'm going to tell you why I'm returning my DM-E1D. I'm not going to play the intro to my episode. I'm not going to go through a long spiel. I'm just going to get right to it. I released my review of the DM-E1D yesterday, and I didn't really recommend it for most people. I said I was going to keep it, but I changed my mind, and there's two reasons why. One is the signal-to-noise ratio on this is 62 decibels. If you're not hip to audio engineering and signal-to-noise ratios, you typically want something in the mid to high 70s. At first I was questioning myself on this. I kept getting hiss on this microphone, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not using the settings right, and I just need to mess with my gain structure a little bit. I just kept putting it through testing, and I just kept getting really terrible hiss no matter what I did, and it was really, really bad. My Shure lens hopper, my VP83, it has a signal-to-noise ratio in the mid to high 70s, which is what you're looking for. Just that was a deal breaker. But then, something that I overlooked, and I apologize, is that this microphone only goes to 10 kilohertz. Human beings hear all the way up to 20 kilohertz or 20,000 hertz. And when you look at the VP83 and you look at some of these other microphones like the Sennheiser MKE400, which is $100 less than this microphone, it goes up to 20 kilohertz. So another part of my rant, shotgun microphones were invented in the early 1940s. They predate World War II. We are over 80 years into shotgun microphone technology. And a standard shotgun microphone is usually, 50 to 20,000 hertz. We hear 20 to 20 kilohertz or 20,000 hertz, but those really super low frequencies are just junk, so you don't really need a shotgun microphone to go super low. But 50 to 20,000 hertz is about what you'd hear as a standard frequency response range for a shotgun microphone. Inexplicably, this microphone cuts off at 10,000 hertz or 10 kilohertz. I don't understand why they made that decision. Dynamic microphones like a Shure SM57 or Shure SM58, they start to cut off at like 5, 6, 7 kilohertz, but that's because you're using a floor monitor and there's this complex situation where you might have feedback happening because you have a live vocal mic. That's not what this is. We're not using monitors where we can create a feedback loop. This is a little bit more of a controlled environment, kind of like a recording studio. That's why when you walk into a recording studio microphones usually go from like 20 to 20 kilohertz. My shotgun microphone, I expect it to go up to 20 kilohertz because even though our hearing, like anything above like 10, 11, 12 kilohertz for fundamental frequencies is, what we hone in on, we still perceive overtones and harmonics and things like that. So to just cap that thing off at 10 kilohertz, I don't understand the decision there. And to charge $300 for it, especially when I couldn't get it to sound as good as any of my other microphones. That even includes my Rode lavalier mic. It is my worst sounding microphone, and it's not even close. So here's the microphone in my studio where I have diffusion panels and acoustical treatment. This is the microphone at minus 12 dB, which is the green little indicator where you want your levels to be on your microphone. And just listen to this microphone. I don't think it sounds very good. And yes, I can tweak it in post, but as I said, it only goes up to 10 kilohertz. You're missing another 10,000 hertz that our ears can perceive, and just it's a very uninspiring and boring sounding microphone. And let's just listen to the amount of hiss we get. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm just gonna let this run through my normal compressor that I use in post-production, and you tell me if the amount of hiss on this is acceptable. I have no idea why Canon decided to handicap this microphone so badly. The analog to digital converter on this is 16-bit. Ideally, I wish it would have been 24 bits. So I'm sorry, but for $300, this microphone, I can't recommend it to anybody, not even if you want the quick access to the buttons, because the sound quality is just that bad. I was second guessing myself after my review. I have to own up to it. So I just want to make sure that you understand that I am returning this microphone, and I never, ever return things. This is actually the first review of anything I've ever decided to return. And I'm a huge fan of Canon. I own half a dozen or so of the RF lenses. I own a couple camera bodies. So I really was rooting for this to be great. I hope Canon in the future builds off of this, make something that's 24-bit, make something that goes to 20 kilohertz. I can walk into any music store and buy a microphone that goes up to 20 kilohertz. At least make your microphones up to standard and make it 24-bit. I don't know if they just didn't want to like spend the money on the AD converters because they were afraid it would suck too much battery life out of it. I have no idea, but I do see that Canon has the DM-E1D for $100 off on their website right now, but I'm sorry, with that noise and the fact that it doesn't even go up to 20 kilohertz, which is pretty standard, I wouldn't even spend $200 on it. The menu thing is cool, but you couple that with the fact that I can't float it around because they don't have any sort of an adapter where I could like maybe move it out, and the fact that it just doesn't sound good. Stick to optics, stick to camera bodies. I love Canon, but I'm so sorry I can't recommend this, and I just want to be honest because I want you to come to this channel for honest reviews. And so anyway, that's it. That's my review. That's my rant. I'm out. Bye.